Yo, we can't open that in stream, chat. Chat. Y'all did not see that. Y'all did not see that, chat. Y'all did not see that. Okay, guys, we're actually playing controller now. We've switched from being PC bums to the next read. So, y'all better be happy for me, and y'all better say thank you, Big Daddy Morrow, for just being me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the day gotta end. They gotta end, chat. End of the day gotta end. Oh wait, yeah, I actually couldn't hear me. Y'all couldn't hear me? Don't you dare talk about Tommy. Don't you dare talk about Tommy. You gotta. Na boy, na boy, na boy, na boy, na boy. Okay, we need to find read settings, which is, hold on, read settings. I'll stream for an hour or two. Let's get real comfy with these bonds, you know what I'm saying? Let's get real comfy. Okay, what is read settings? Read uses. No, go up. We need his exact bonds. You see, he's an exponential, right? Instant boost from building. Okay. Let's get to the chat. What the hell are these? V-Bucks. What kind of V-Bucks now? Okay. He uses, I think it's 1.7. 50, 60, 000. Uses 50. 50. Wow, child. We bought it. Wow, 60. And then he goes here. All zeros. ADS look speed. Sixteen. Damn. Exponential. What dirt's on this here? 6. Wow. Okay. I guess that's good settings, guys. Let's try them out right quick. Oh, I thought I could tonight, and I'll be fucking on your bed sometime. And I'll be fucking on your bed sometime. And I'll be fucking on your bed sometime. And I thought I could tonight, and I'm fucking on your bed sometime. Let's go here real quick. Let's go to here. Yeah, this is good. What black do we use? Let's use something. Aura, you know what I'm saying? That's Aura. That's Aura. And I be I think controller just like is more appealing to look at, I think, in my opinion. I mean, in my opinion, yeah. I mean, fuck your opinion, you know what I'm saying? Fuck your opinion, man. Opinion, man. Shut your brain. Oh, hell no. They're trying to get me into a cash grab. What the fuck? Man, hush. I said, shut up. Shut your mouth. Yes, Mara. It won't happen again. Good boy. Yo, what are you saying right now, big boy? Crazy? I'm gonna do you dirty.
I can't understand you. You're like it's ass.
I'm gonna punch you in your throat, boy. Say I'm sorry right now. I'm sorry,
Your
man.
mic is ass. You saw my app.
I already told your bitch ass to shut your mouth. What the fuck did I just tell you? I'm sorry, Mara. I'm gonna beat you to death. I'm gonna choke you till you die. I'm not gonna lie, gang. You can't say I'm not gonna lie, gang. I'm the best player to ever test this game. Hey, you're my dick. Oh shit, do I run? Holy shit, I run. Just go ahead and edit that. I think I need to lower something. Let me lower my sensor. Cause boy, oh boy, am I flying through the screen. Cause boy, oh boy, am I flying through the motherfucking screen, dude. What the fuck? I just want the cash, and I just want the cash. Stop talking to me, boy. You're corny. Like, you don't have a life in real life. You don't have a life. You don't have a. Controller is interesting for sure. Kind of like. have. Do I play like? And I wish you never saw. I thought you about it. Oh. Like this ain't double pump. What am I doing? It's not a headset though? Okay. I'm also on high pings. I don't trust it too much. And I wish you never told me your love. And I wish you never told me your love. Just done. And I wish you never told me Listen, show me your life. Oh my, wait, I forgot. I didn't forget. I didn't forget, chat. I did not forget. And I wish you never. It's like. They're just waiting there with his dick out. Like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dum, 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 dum. He got, wow, he got disintegrated. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. I died. I died. Okay, okay, okay. I died. That didn't kill him? Okay. Oh. I don't have anything. Leave it alone. Shut up. Your ass. though. Get out with it though. Get out with it though. Yes. I think it's too slow. I think that's why I need it. Wow, this thing is loud as shit, yo. What's wrong with this guy? Loud ass boy. And I get loud with my baby. Did you forget that you want? Wanna lick it like me. Yo, chat, we're back. Back with some food. And we're ready to devour this food. Here. Brother. Fuck. How does the controller just stop working? I don't get that. How does it just stop? Like literally just stop. Like no reason to stop. I guess. Oh guys, don't ignore that, guys. You guys did not see that, okay? You guys did not see that.
Sign
Oh,
asshole.
what did I say? What did I?
Wait, what did he place?
Top 15.
Damn, I was close then, I was close. Alright, see how first and Vera doing.
Oh, fuck no. Fetches and shit.
Yeah, Threats was one place off it. Yeah, Threats was one place off in Heats. Would you rather have Nado as a coach or OG as a teammate, Ozzy? Wait, what? You're like, wait, what? I think I would struggle with Kanata's coaching.
Fred got the most lights all of this shit after that.
One of my favorite quotes till this day: God will put you back together in front of those who broke you.
Consciousness doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Is Professor Morrow in the building here? Hold on. Let's flip it real quick. Is Professor Mario in the building here? And today we're going to be discussing levels of consciousness. Let's get to it. How do I... Hold on, chat. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, there. Let's get to it. And I'm eating some rice and beans and a kiwi because I'm broke. I'm kidding. Alright, let's get to it.
Sights, sounds, smells, textures, the warmth of love, the sting of sadness, the coldness of heartbreak. Why do we experience any of it? We've mapped out the entire observable universe, measured every single neuron in our brains, and we've even trained machines to think, speak, and act just like us. And still, we don't understand the most fundamental thing about human existence.
Consciousness.
Why does it feel like anything to be you? Why is there a little person inside of your head? And a story of your life that exists through time. Although it's something that every single person who has ever existed has experienced, consciousness is one of the most...
That's really interesting to think about. And I don't think you guys even heard me. Wow. Okay, let's get back to it.
difficult things to explain or understand. Philosophers, mystics, scientists, and religious leaders have all come to the same uncomfortable conclusion. Consciousness isn't as straightforward as it appears. It unfolds in levels, and the deeper you go, the stranger it gets. So let's dive in.
Who are you? I'm kidding.
Level 1,
let's dive in, guys.
deep sleep. It's
Start
the
on
most
top.
ordinary, yet the most mysterious state of consciousness. We enter it every night without thinking, slipping past the edge of thought into a void so empty that even the concept of it being a void disappears. The entire world dissolves, the self vanishes, and even dreams don't exist at this level. All there is a silent stillness that's vast and impenetrable. Although we experience this every night, it still exists beyond the realm of our understanding. Just like you can't understand what it's like to be blind by closing your eyes, you can't understand what deep sleep feels like by taking a nap. All we do know is that one moment you're awake, fully aware of your surroundings, and the next moment you're awake and fully aware of your surroundings. But for a few hours in between, you are nowhere, completely oblivious to your surroundings. According to neuroscience, you're in what's called the delta wave state. It's a deep, slow rhythm that's pulsing through your brain at less than 4 cycles per second. It's the body's most restorative mode, where the nervous system resets, tissues heal, and your memory consolidates.
Okay.
This state is a necessary maintenance cycle when the mind is turned off so that the body can heal itself. But on the inside, something far stranger is happening. In this state, experience itself ceases to exist. There is no space, no time, and no you. It's as if awareness folds back into its source, the way an ocean wave returns to the sea and forgets that it ever rose, that it was ever a wave. Philosophers describe it.
I think, like, if I had a theory of why we sleep, I'd probably say it's like a mental reset or something. Alright. Being able to store information and keep what you need, but also at the same time, your brain really is inactive while you're sleeping. So it's like that's what makes it even harder to make a theory around it, because your brain is almost inactive last time I checked. So it's like
it as a kind of
You know?
temporary
Interesting.
annihilation, one without suffering or fear. It's like death being shy. You don't know that you're gone, and yet you awaken, and you somehow know that you were. That paradox, to be without being aware of being, has haunted even the greatest thinkers for centuries. In the Mandukya Upanishad, it's called Sushupti, a state where the self rests in its unmanifest form. Buddhists regard it as a glimpse of nirvana without enlightenment, while modern philosophers see it as the ground zero of consciousness, the point at which the line between awareness and non awareness blurs. And yet, even here, the seed of consciousness exists. Something knows that nothing is happening, otherwise, you would wake up each morning and you would be completely confused as to what had just happened. So it seems that even at this bottom layer, awareness is still there. It only withdraws, watching quietly from behind the curtain. In that sense, deep sleep is both an ending and a new beginning. It is the nightly death of self and the daily resurrection of consciousness. Each time you wake up, you're reborn from that void, carried upward through the layers of mind that rebuild your world anew. The dreamer reassembles, the senses reopen, and the illusion of continuity resumes. But for a few hours each night, you cease to exist. And that, perhaps, is the purest form of peace the mind may ever know, at least on this.
I mean, yeah, because like, I seen a podcast of Joe Rogan and this other guy talking. Also, like, you kind of have, like, no idea, like, if you're still in the same reality you were before you went to sleep. You just gotta trust that, like, oh yeah, I left this computer here, I left this here, I have this to do at this time. It's all the same, so I'm in the same reality. You really don't have a 100% proof that you are. And the fact that your brain needs it to survive, and if you don't get it for a long enough period of time, you start losing, you start going insane and you start losing sanity, speaks a lot to how important it is. But even knowing how important it is and how monumental sleep and sleep deprivation is, we still don't have like a concrete understanding of why. You know what I'm saying? Like, rest makes sense, but just there's so much more to it though.
Plane of existence. Beyond that layer of emptiness, there is creativity beyond human comprehension. Level 2.
Dreaming. Dreaming. Oh my god. I can go. Most people, like, I've talked to my friends and they tell me that like they don't dream, which I find, cause like I have dreams sometimes where it's like, oh, I wake up sweating and I'm like, God, thank you, thank goodness that was a dream. It's insane, cause like I had a dream like a month-ish ago. It's where it was like I was in a dream. It was like a high school scenario, like high school Disney type, and like to prove that you are the most confident person in the world, or to prove and graduate out of this social club in the high school, you had to climb up this clock tower that's in the school. It's in like the middle of the school, and you're supposed to jump off. And I sat there watching people jump off, jump off, jump off, and they were like, "You gotta," and they kept on respawning, and they would be like, "Mara, see, you're fine. Just go ahead and jump off. You're good." And I was like, "Oh, you know what? It's no big deal. I got you." And I would go to jump off. I'd stand there like this. I remember it. I was standing like this and I was staring down. And it's almost like I could move back, right, left, but to move forward or jump, it was almost like my feet was glued to the ground. So it's almost like even when you're dreaming, your survival instincts do not allow you to, because your brain can't comprehend death. So even in a dream, your mind is hard to comprehend death. And I've had situations like at the end of that dream, I'm pretty sure I did at some point, and yeah, it's kind of yeah. Let's get back to it.
Fragments of thought begin to move. Images shimmer into existence, and without opening your eyes, you find yourself somewhere else entirely. This is dreaming, the first world consciousness creates for itself. In this realm, reality is all self-generated. The senses have shut down, and the body lies motionless. Yet, within the theater of the brain, entire universes are created. Mountains rise and vanish. Faces from memory blend with strangers whom you've never seen before. You experience an entire lifetime in a few minutes.
Do you think those faces are people you see on the side of the street that you don't really pay attention to, but your brain still your brain still takes it in, but it's so deep that you don't even realize or pay attention to it, but your brain still keeps that information? Because I wear glasses, and I find that the faces I will see in my dreams, it's mainly people I know or blends of people's faces that I've seen before, but not necessarily strangers. And I think that might be due to the fact that because I need glasses, and when I don't wear glasses, my brain can't even see the peripheral visions of people's faces that I can take in. So it automatically relies on the faces that I've seen before, if that makes sense. That I think, yeah,
One moment, you're flying through an endless sky, and the
it's
next,
kind of
you're trapped
interesting.
in a room without any doors or windows. And the strangest thing of all is that it all feels real, or at least as real as your everyday waking life. From the scientific perspective, dreaming starts after deep sleep and during REM sleep, the phase of sleep in mammals that comes with rapid eye movements and more brain activity, which leads to more dreams. Your mind is flooded with emotions, imagination, and different narratives. Your body, for the most part, is still stuck in an unconscious state, but the mind is now free to wander, to explore.
I also have a huge theory on this. I think for people like me, people like people who have a not necessarily bigger, but people who not necessarily big dreamers, but people who have um futures that they see in themselves that is bigger than themselves, and they choose to have and they have the willpower to follow it. Do you think that is do you think that is that part of the brain that separates dreams and reality? Do you think it's so close that those people are almost like it's almost like the dream part of their inner self is leaking into reality, making them think it's possible, even though other people are like, you're dreaming. This is like like you are think like there's no you actually think you can do that. Do you think it's the dream part of your brain being so close to reality where some people, that confidence comes from them subconsciously or unconsciously. I don't know the correct term for it. But do you think it's because they can't register behind thought that they're that this is they're still kind of dreaming, but they just see it as reality because they are currently in the real. It's kind of hard to explain, guys.
Or the world it creates for itself without any boundaries. Philosophically, the dream acts as a mirror, a miniature version of existence itself. In Hindu philosophy, this is swapna, the inner world. Philosophically, the dream acts as a mirror, a miniature version of existence itself.
Okay.
In Hindu philosophy, this is swapna, the inner world that reflects and distorts waking reality. The Greeks saw dreams as messages from the...
If it distorts, if it, like the language he just used where he says it distorts, it's kind of very specific language. If the way the Hindus see it as distorts, meaning in a way it can affect and change, because we know it can affect reality. We know your dream can affect reality because by the way, like, have you ever heard somebody say, like, did you have a bad dream? Why are you so moody all of a sudden today? Or we know dreams can affect somebody's emotion. It can affect someone's, how they move about their day. If they had a bad dream, they might be cautious about certain stuff. So we know it does affect reality to a certain extent. But do you think there's more to it than just affecting how cautious or how you move? Do you think, I don't know, it might, and that's why I was trying to get back to the beginning, where it's like you can in a way kind of project, because we know that reality is just the projection of and recollection of everyone in the world, right? And everything that can perceive things in detail. And if that's the case, then there's a high chance where some people's way of recollection and abilities might have the ability to change that. And if that makes sense.
Gods, Freud saw them as windows into the unconscious. Modern neuroscience calls them memory alchemy, where the brain mixes fragments of the day into symbolic narratives. Yet, none of these explanations capture the uncanny truth. When you dream, you are both the creator and the inhabitant of your world. Inside a dream, you are the laws of physics, the architecture of space, and the author of time. Every voice you hear is your own mind speaking back to you. Every face is carved from your memories. The dreamer and the dream are one and the same. You build a world, forget that you built it, and then wander through it as a character. But just like waking life, dreams carry emotion, consequence, and even transformation. A nightmare can make your heart race.
I think that's also just how, like, the human brain works, because we, like, the idea of building and living through it, I think that's also just like another reason why, if you want to remember something more, if you write it on paper, it's like more likely for you to remember it, because it's almost like pinging something in Fortnite. I know it's a crazy example, but yeah.
A lucid dream can make you feel like a
That's
superhero.
probably somebody else.
A positive vision can give you peace that lasts for years. For something not real, dreams leave remarkably real footprints. They reveal the creative nature of consciousness and the scary thought that reality even our waking reality may just be another dream. And perhaps that's their deeper lesson. Every night, as your mind weaves impossible worlds and convinces itself that they're true, it rehearses the same act it performs during the day, constructing experience from within. The only difference is that in dreams, you sometimes remember that you're the only one imagining it at all. Level 3. Waking. As you wake, you notice the red marks on your face, proof that you maybe enjoyed this sleep a little too much. Your eyes squint, struggling to adjust to the orange rays of the yellow morning sun spilling through the window. Outside, the green grass smiles as it's kissed by the morning dew, beneath a bright blue sky where shades of indigo fade softly into violet on the horizon. The last remnants of dusk from the night are gone. You are now fully
That was a
awake,
great scene.
and your consciousness opens to the complete spectrum of experience. Not just colors, but also sounds, scents, sensations, and emotions. The orchestra of awareness that gives our world a shared meaning. This is waking consciousness, the state we spend most of our lives in, where thought, perception, and action blend into the grand illusion of solidity. Here, the mind and the senses form a partnership, producing what we call reality. You feel the weight of your body, the texture of air against your skin, the rhythm of passing time. The brain processes billions of signals each second, sorting chaos into order, randomness into patterns. Every sound, color, and shape is translated into electrical signals that are then interpreted as a three-dimensional hallucination that's just consistent enough to work. Neuroscience calls it the default mode network, the mental system that constructs the ongoing narrative of me and you, the observer at the center of the universe. But the longer you stare at waking life, the more fragile it begins to look. Sensory illusions tell us that we can't even trust our own senses. And even when there are no illusions, our limited senses compared to other living things tell us that we are not experiencing true reality, only the version of it that we can observe. Some cold-blooded animals can see infrared lights. Bats and whales have echolocation.
Mama? Mama? Yeah. Okay, I'll... Wait a second. Wait, I should just keep this recording. I should not. We are back. We are back. We are better than ever.
And animals like cows, deer, and butterflies can even detect and use the Earth's magnetic field. Even within humans, some people have synesthesia and can see shapes and colors when they hear music. They are experiencing the world in a completely different way than all of us will ever be able to. So, if that's the case, how can we say for certainty what the real reality is? Time stretches or shrinks depending on attention. The mind edits and fills gaps, erases details, and fabricates continuity out of fragments of our experiences. You never see the world as it is, only as your nervous system allows. The brain isn't recording reality, it's rendering it. Like a simulation. You never see the world as it is, only as your nervous system allows. The brain isn't recording.
I mean, yeah, because the brain, like the eyes take in data at a different rate. Your ear, like you take sound at a different rate. You take smell at a different rate. You process touch at a different rate. So it's almost like the brain is like the CPU, and it's like its task, which has other tasks, but its task is to take that data and to try to synchronize it at its best of its ability. And that's why, like, if you're if you're drunk or high, the way you perceive reality is just different, because your brain is, because of the toxins your brain is taking in, is having trouble synchronize everything at the way it's supposed to. And I wonder how different anyone would perceive the world if its job was not to synchronize everything and it just let loose and it was like whatever. But it's also we're talking milliseconds here. So I wouldn't understand if there'd be a complete change, if it would be a huge or small change. But I think if that's the job of the brain, then I think it has that purpose for a reason, because it'd be a big change. But I'm not completely sure.
Reality, it's rendering it, like a simulation running in real time. Philosophers have wrestled with this for centuries. Descartes wondered how we could ever be sure that we aren't dreaming right now. Kant argued that the world we perceive is not the thing in itself, but merely a mental model filtered through structures of cognition. Modern thinkers like Donald Hoffman describe perception as a user interface, an evolutionary design meant for survival, not to express truth. In other words, your senses don't reveal reality. They hide it behind icons that are useful enough to keep you alive. And yet, despite all of this uncertainty, waking life feels different from a dream. There's resistance here, gravity, consequence, the shared agreement of others who see the same sky as you do. This is what we call consensus reality, a communal hallucination maintained through collective trust. When you wake up, you don't just enter a world, you enter a shared simulation.
You enter a public server. And it's the same thing as entering that Call of Duty server where they're spamming the N-words. I've been there, wow. But it's kind of interesting, though. I don't know. Because it also adds in that, like, and that's why I find the idea of Sonder really interesting, just because they also are perceiving it in the same amount of details, either more or less than how you are perceiving. Like the questions you ask about, oh, this grass seems more greener, your mom also asked that at some point, maybe your dad almost asked that at some point, your brother could have asked that at some point. So it's just kind of interesting, especially like the idea of sound, it just hits.
One reinforced by language, memory, and the stability of physical laws. But even this stability is conditional. The world we wake up into is built from patterns of experience, and experience is built from the mind. Every morning, consciousness reassembles itself, telling a story of what it calls today, forgetting that yesterday's story was equally invented. Waking life is not the opposite of dreaming. It's simply the most persistent dream, one vivid enough to convince you and everyone around you that it's real. For most people, this is where consciousness stops. We spend our lives cycling through these three familiar states, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, calling that cycle the totality of experience. The mind rarely pauses long enough to notice that something constant exists beneath all of them. We wake, we sleep, we dream, and we assume that's all awareness is, and what it's meant to do. But there are deeper layers still. Hidden states that reveal themselves only when the surface of the mind stands completely still. When thought quiets and attention turns inward, a new dimension of consciousness begins to open. Beyond the noise of perception and the theater of thought lies something entirely different. Awareness itself, pure and silent, untouched by the world around it. Level 4, Transcendental Consciousness.
But okay, this might be just a. It's gonna be acidosis shit, but cause I've never heard that term before. But is this something? I think I'm kind of aware. I think I'm kind of educated. I kind of have like a internal understanding of like the levels of consciousness. I don't I don't know the fucking, excuse my language, the correct vocabulary and terms for them.
Beyond the turbulence of waking, dreaming, and sleep, there lies
Turbulence. Sorry.
another state, one that doesn't fit neatly into the usual map of the mind. It's not unconsciousness, not imagination, not ordinary awareness. It is transcendental consciousness. It's a pure and silent awareness that is aware of itself. Here the mind is awake, but utterly still. Thoughts slow down drastically and then vanish. The body remains, the senses remain, but attention has turned inward, resting on the source of awareness itself. It's a state that meditators across cultures have described for millennia, the experience of being without doing, of awareness detached from the machinery of thought.
Okay.
In this state, consciousness is no longer directed at anything, it simply is. From a scientific view, something remarkable is happening. Normally, the brain's left and right hemispheres are somewhat asynchronous. Different regions fire independently and chaotically, especially when the mind is active or distracted. But EEG readings of advanced meditators show something different. The electric signals across both hemispheres of their brains start to synchronize. Their waveforms line up almost like musical instruments playing the same frequency. As the inner mind stills, so does the brain, and its usual chaos is replaced by harmony and stillness. Philosophically, transcendental consciousness is the first glimpse of the self beyond the self. The Upanishads describe it as Turiya, the fourth state, beyond waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Buddhists call it emptiness, not because it lacks content, but because it lacks boundaries. Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." But in this state, even thinking dissolves, and yet, I am remains. There is a profound simplicity to this awareness. It doesn't judge, interpret, or analyze. It just observes. For a few moments, the endless stream of thought that defines waking life goes quiet, and the observer realizes that they were never the thoughts at all, but the space in which those thoughts appear. Many describe the experience as a feeling of returning home. Only home is not a place, but a condition of being that feels more familiar than anything else. It's as if the mind has spent its whole life facing outward, looking for meaning in the world, only to turn around and find that what it sought was the one who was looking. In transcendental consciousness, awareness becomes self-luminous. The observer and the observed merge into a single existence. It's not an escape from the world, but the discovery of what remains when the world disappears. A consciousness untouched by thought, time, or form. At this point, consciousness begins to step beyond what science can comfortably describe. The instruments still record patterns, the brain still hums with coherence, but something about the experience slips through the cracks of measurement. Logic, which once seemed sturdy, starts to tremble. This is where philosophy takes over, where awareness begins to question its own nature and language itself starts to blur. If the mind can be aware without thought, what exactly is doing the knowing? Or what is the I that remains when the story of me falls silent? These aren't questions for neuroscience anymore. They're riddles of existence itself. Level 5, Cosmic Consciousness. Eventually, something extraordinary happens. The silence of transcendental awareness stops fading when you open your eyes. The stillness remains even as you move through the world. This is cosmic consciousness, the moment when inner and outer awareness coexist, when the witness behind experience no longer disappears when the experience unfolds. Here, consciousness no longer flickers between opposites. You can think, speak, act, and feel, yet somewhere beneath the surface, a deep, unmoving stillness hums, untouched by any of it. There's joy and sorrow, gain and loss, but all of it happens within a larger, unbroken awareness that simply observes it all. Life continues as before, but your relationship with it is no longer the same. You are no longer fully in the story. You're watching the story from a distance and, at the same time, living it up close. Science might describe this as continuous meta-awareness, a sustained activation of the brain's frontal monitoring system that tracks internal and external experience simultaneously. Heart rate and brainwave patterns show a balance rarely seen, coherence between the body's alertness and the mind.
You know what? I'd probably wanna do a brain scan. Before. I'm thinking about. I'd say a year. Like, just give me about a year. I'd wanna do a brain scan. And then before the biggest event of my life, I'd wanna do a brain scan, which is gonna be 2030. Like, one of the biggest events of my life before I perform is gonna be 2034, I believe, and I'm gonna be like 27, I believe. Yeah, I'm gonna be 27 years old, 2034. Can't say more than that, but I want to do a brain scan in about a year. I want to do a brain scan in 2034, and I want to do a brain scan, I think, like around the ages when I'm like 56. Yeah, I want to do a brain scan when I'm around 56. And I think that should be a lot of data for scientists and journalists, because I feel like it's going to be a really interesting data for humanity. But
Mind's serenity. Yet what the instruments can't measure is the feeling itself. The quiet astonishment of being awake within the waking.
yeah.
Philosophically, this is the state where self-knowledge becomes direct. The Upanishads describe it as the realization of Atman, the inner self, distinct from the ever-changing play of thoughts and sensations. You begin to see that the body, emotions, and personality are not you, but are expressions of something larger. The witnessing awareness that once was a fleeting meditative glimpse becomes a permanent backdrop. You don't lose your individuality, you just stop mistaking it for the whole truth. The world still moves, but you are...
But if a scientist is gonna argue that your brain, because at the end of, like, the reason why we have habits and the reason why we have these sort of stuff we do on the daily without thinking of it is because your brain is like a computer, you know? It's like if you do something in a pattern over time, it becomes a habit. And it's kind of like downloading a game, or like in a video game where if you do something enough and the code happens often enough, it gets to a point where it's already expecting it to happen, so it makes the downloading process and the activation process faster because it's already expecting it to happen. It's like it takes a player in Fortnite way faster to build than it takes the coder to code it and then build it in the game. And I think the pattern of it becoming something, a habit, is like closing in that gap. And if that's the case, right? If that's the case, where your brain is a CPU and then it's processing stuff and it's taking in stuff and habits and just giving it out what you already have in mind and the things that it's already perceived of you doing, then it's not completely the soul itself. It's more of a, it's hard to, I need to read more and expand my vocabulary so I'm able to express like the things I think like more clear. Because I would have been cooking right now if I was in a better state of mind right now and I knew exactly how to say the things I'm trying to say and describe. I'd be making hundreds of billions of dollars already. Wow.
Are no longer swept away by it. The emotions that once consumed you become waves rippling across the surface of an ocean. Suffering still arises, but so does unshakable calm. The recognition that even pain is a movement within consciousness, not outside of it. You become both the participant and the spectator, both the actor and the stage. This is what many mystics call the witness state, the dawning of enlightenment, the first steady awakening. It's not otherworldly or distant, it's ordinary life, but experienced from a higher vantage point. You still walk and talk and breathe, but now you do so while simultaneously resting in the infinite. In cosmic consciousness, the self and the universe begin to mirror each other. You start to sense that the awareness within you and the intelligence that animates the cosmos might be the same thing, two expressions of a single universal mind. The individual soul and the cosmic soul are not separate entities, but reflections meeting in still water. And once you see that, the line between inner and outer reality begins to dissolve. Level 6. God consciousness. At some point,
Before we talk about God consciousness, which I'm intrigued about what they get correct from this, and unity and God is something like God consciousness and unity consciousness is something I want to know what he gets right, what he gets wrong. Not what I personally believe he gets wrong, but what he says that resonates and sounds right, and what he says that doesn't sound wrong. But anyways, I think it's like the idea of the self and the universe kind of trying to reflect itself to create what you're perceiving. I forgot what I was gonna say. Let's just get into it.
Awareness begins to shift again. The silent witness that once observed the world from a distance now starts to feel intimately connected to it, as if that same stillness is pulsing through everything you see. This is God consciousness, a state where perception itself becomes sacred, and every aspect of the universe radiates with living intelligence. In this state, consciousness doesn't just witness the world, it feels it. The tree outside your window no longer seems like an object. It breathes, it vibrates, it glows with quiet divinity. The line between the perceiver and the perceived softens, replaced by a sense of reverence that permeates every existence. The same awareness that once sat silently within now begins to overflow, touching everything it counters with love. Neuroscientifically, this shift can be glimpsed in patterns of highly synchronized gamma activity, often observed in advanced meditators experiencing profound compassion or awe. Emotional and sensory centers of the brain begin to...
I think that's also when you start to. That's also when you start to understand the beauty. That's like the awe part is just starting to understand, like you're like the self starting to understand like the complete beauty of not only how complicated life and reality is, but also understanding how simple it is and how those things can coexist. And there's a level above that where it's not only do you understand the complicated part, the easy part, you start to understand the middle ground, and you start to understand that not only can you not only can you change the self and because there is a part of your perception that you can change, and that is affected by your mindset, that is affected by the patterns you create in life, the patterns you're born in life, but there's a specific kind of radius that you can change within time, within distance, and within what else is really important when it comes to change speed, right? And I think there's that bubble can grow and you're able to affect the things around you, and it's kind of hard, and you're able to predict. It's almost like if I'm allowed to say this, it's almost like there's a future. I'm not just I'm allowed to say that. Anyways, that's. I definitely think I need to talk to some people and stuff. Anyways.
merge, producing a kind of refined perception. Reality felt not just through the senses, but through the heart. But science can only describe the mechanics. It can't capture the meaning. What actually happens is that consciousness expands from neutrality into devotion, from witnessing the universe to falling in love with it. Philosophically, God consciousness has appeared in nearly every spiritual tradition. In the Vedic texts, it's
But you trying to shy away from the conversation I was just having. There must be a certain point where not only can you appreciate it, but you can understand it to an ability where you can change it. And I'm gonna say this, it's in no way, shape, or form, it's things that are online that you can find and you can see and you can talk about and you can just public is, nothing new. But do we think Jesus got to a point where he was able, his consciousness expanded to a point where he's able to, because that he, in theory, if we want to argue that he was just a, he was not God and he was just a regular human, not a regular human being, but if someone wants to argue that Jesus was a human being and he didn't have any God power to help him get to where he is, where he was at the end, the fact that religion and Christianity affects the reality of so many people, do we believe that that's an effect he was able to change of reality because he was able to get to that point? I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying, is that something that, you know what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm trying to say, then you get it. If you don't, you don't get it. And that's okay.
Described as the blossoming of Sat Chit Ananda, being, consciousness, and bliss, the triad of divine experience. Christian mystics call it theosis, union with God through love. Sufis sang of it as ishq-i hachichi, the divine passion that burns away separation. Each points to the same realization. The universe is not a cold mechanism, but a living expression of consciousness, and that consciousness is inherently good, intelligent, and beautiful. In this state, love ceases to be an emotion and becomes a perception, a way of seeing. You don't feel.
Yeah, but it also goes against it though. Like, if humans being, if human and I'm just gonna note this real quick. I've never spoke without stuttering. I mean, I have, but that's in times where I'm trying to express something that's really meaningful. I have a hard time stuttering, but usually I'll stutter. So that's a good note to note down. But the idea of love, right? It's very important, right? When it comes to understanding the world and having a deeper connection. But that also, it really, do you think people in the old ages had the capacity to love the way we do now? Because I feel like, to an extent, I think the brain had to realize there needs to be this certain pattern of emotions that will help humanity understand the world more, and we're gonna need it. Because and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm talking about in the Neanderthals, I'm talking about back then, right? When it comes to survival, doing whatever you want regardless of your feelings, and just saying, oh, this woman right here looks good, I want her to have, not even looks good, this is a girl, I want her to have my kids, right? Why did the concept of love, when did it originate? And did it even originate just because we know animals that aren't as advanced as us kind of have that same idea? So it's either I'm just asking questions at this point. I mean, it's intriguing.
Love for the world you see through love. Every sound, color, and form feels imbued with the same sacred essence that animates you. Compassion becomes effortless because everything around you feels like an extension of your own being. Even pain and decay begin to shimmer.
That's kind of interesting, because that also goes back to the egg theory, kind of, because it's almost the idea of everything is in a way you. So the good that you do is to yourself, and the good that you do and the bad that you do is also to yourself. So it's almost like you are the universe looking into yourself, and I'm not gonna try to go back into the whole I was talking about, but that's
with
egg theory, guys. Egg
hidden
theory.
purpose. God consciousness transforms the intellect into reverence. The mind no longer seeks to control or analyze reality, it bows before it. Every atom becomes a hymn, every breath a prayer. The divine is not something else, not above or beyond, it is here, unfolding through every heartbeat, every sunrise, every ordinary moment that you once overlooked. In the previous level, you realize that you are a consciousness watching the universe. In this one, you realize that consciousness itself is divine, and so is everything it creates. The world becomes a cathedral of awareness, and you, a witness in awe of its infinity.
Mm-hmm.
Level 7, Unity Consciousness.
No, he definitely got that right.
At
And it's
the last level lies a state where even the witness disappears. The boundary between observer and observed, between self and world, subject and object, disappears completely. This is Unity Consciousness, the highest expression of awareness, where the universe knows itself through you, and you know yourself as the universe. Here all distinctions fall away, inside and outside, mind and matter, life and death, all of it merges into a single, seamless field of being. It's not that you perceive unity, rather you are unity. The infinite doesn't feel distant anymore, it's the very substance of your own awareness. There is no longer a self looking out at the world, there's only consciousness, infinite and self-luminous, flowing through every form and thought like light through glass.
Okay.
From a scientific standpoint, unity consciousness pushes the limit of what we can even measure. Some neuroscientists speak of non-dual awareness, a brain state characterized by synchronized coherence across regions, where self-referential processing all but disappears. But this is only the shadow of something that can't truly be quantified. Because the experience of unity is not in the brain at all. It's the field in which the brain, the world, and all of existence arise together. Philosophically, this state has been described in countless ways. In Vedanta, it is the realization of Brahman, the one without a second, pure being, consciousness, bliss. In Mahayana Buddhism, it's sunyata, the emptiness that is full, where form and void are one and the same. Mystics of every tradition have spoken of it in paradoxes. The drop that becomes the ocean and yet remains a drop. The flame that recognizes itself in every other flame. In unity consciousness, the sense of time dissolves. The future and past collapse into an eternal present, a boundless nap.
Guys, one word and one picture will make everything he's saying just makes so much sense. I think this is allowed. I think this is allowed. Yeah, I think this is. Like the infinity symbol is such an interesting symbol. There's a reason why it's not just like this. Because oh my, who's on the loop? If you look at it, it overlaps each other. And on top of, if you you know what, let's get back
Now
to it.
that contains all moments at once. The mind, once so desperate to grasp and define, falls silent. What remains is not thought, not feeling, not perception, but pure existence, radiant and complete. Every moment.
And it's also the idea of letting go, because humans want to understand and control and basically have a sheet of data that knows everything, to a point where humans want to basically understand why things happen, and the idea of becoming unity is almost like, okay, from what I know, the amount of things I can learn is infinite, right? So it's almost like I'll never learn, or I'll never be able to learn everything and know everything. And the idea of I come from what I am trying to learn, it's already within. So the idea of chasing something that's infinite, of course it gives humanity a reason and a goal to always strive toward, but that's looking outward. But when you start to meditate and do things to understand yourself to the fullest capability you can, and then go beyond that, that's when you actually start to understand how the universe works and how everything around you operates. Is when, instead of trying to look for the infinite, you look for the finite, but even the finite can feel just as infinite, you know? But it's kind of a weird, interesting thought to have.
Every breath, every heartbeat is seen as the motion of the universe itself. There is no longer a personal god or an external divinity to perceive, because there's nothing outside. The cosmos itself is sacred, the divine dreaming itself into galaxies and atoms and into you. The love that began in God consciousness now expands beyond any object, becoming the very nature of awareness. It is love without direction, joy without cause, being without end. And from this vantage point, you see that consciousness never climbed anywhere. It was always whole, always infinite. The latter was only a way for the mind to understand what the self already knew. The deep sleep, the dreams, the waking, the silence, the witness, the love, all were movements within the same infinite ocean of being. At this final level, the search ends because the seeker has dissolved into what was being sought all along. There is only one reality, one consciousness, one existence. And it has always been you. From dreamless sleep to cosmic unity, the
Again, in you, telling you.
levels of consciousness go deeper into itself. Each level feels like an ascent, but what if it's really a circle, a return to the source?
Okay, I'm gonna show you. If you look at me and you don't understand what I'm trying to tell you, come here. Returns to you, right? If you are in the middle and you're looking at each other and it's returning to one single point, if you don't, boy, if you don't get your ass out of here, boy.
That was never left. We begin in darkness, unaware of awareness, and end in light, realizing that even the darkness was made of it. Science traces these states through waves and frequencies, mapping consciousness in electrical patterns. Philosophy traces them through language and metaphor, through the fragile bridge of meaning. Yet both of them point towards the same unspoken mystery, that consciousness is not something we have, it's what we are. The body changes, the thoughts change, the dreams shift, but the awareness behind them remains untouched, eternal and self-luminous. Maybe consciousness doesn't emerge from the brain like smoke from fire. Maybe the brain is the instrument and consciousness is the musician. Maybe what we call I is not a separate spark, but the whole fire reflected in a single flame. Across the 7 levels, awareness moves from unknowing to knowing, from separation to unity, from silence to song. In deep sleep, it rests as potential. In dreams, it imagines. In waking, it creates. In transcendence, it remembers itself. In cosmic awareness, it witnesses. In divine love, it celebrates. And in unity, it returns home, only to realize it never truly left.
It never truly left. It never truly left. Again, it's the same thing as a scavenger going out scavenging for food, or a pirate, or in the old ages, a ship going out at sea and trying to find more beautiful things and new experiences, to come back to where it came from and realize that the things that are at home, there's more to see. Even when you find something out in the world that is so extraordinary, if you sit down with your friends and you talk for 20 minutes, you're still going to find something that brings you joy and more interest, that's still interesting and can be even more interesting. You know, like you can have infinite amount of money and power and see the best views, and then you go back home and your mom is sick and you give her a hug and it's almost like the world is hugging you. It's an experience that you didn't need to go far to feel, you know?
Perhaps consciousness isn't climbing towards some final state, but unfolding infinitely, like a mirror reflecting itself.
Got. Show you this one more time. Unfolding infinitely,
Possible.
right? Unfolding infinitely? Unfolding infinitely, right? I'm gonna show you this one more time.
Like a mirror reflecting itself forever. The mystics called it the play of God, Lila, the universe experiencing its own reflection through every possible form. Every eye that opens, every mind that awakens, every life that begins and ends. All of it, consciousness exploring itself. So, maybe there aren't 7 levels at all. Maybe there is only one, appearing as many, dreaming as us.
Guys, that was a great video. I'll be sure to upload this on YouTube. Loved it. Loved it. Let me... Okay. Loved it. I'm going to upload this.
And
Chat, I think I'm gonna end stream for now. Or do we react to something else? Do we react to... Chat, do we react to Joe reacting to something? Hold on.
They know Jesus' story, but here's the thing, we really don't. I mean, think about it. We've got this figure who shaped Western civilization for 2,000 years, right? Billions of people base their entire worldview on his teachings. Wars have been fought in his name. Empires have risen and fallen, claiming to follow him. And yet, when you actually look at what we know about his life, there are massive gaping holes. For a second, because it's...
think I like this little life. Fucking in the X-Space little life. Saying I'm my ex. I'm surprised that I be living some fuck shit all the time. When this money on my mind, I just feel surprised. All these bitches on my mind, I just feel aroused. I'm becoming all this money, I feel so proud. Yeah, I got money on my mind because I'm so aroused. I be feeling so surprised. I be getting so much love when I'm not around. All this money on my mind, I just feel like bang, bang. I be counting all the bang, bang, bang. I be fucking on the ex-bitch, bitch. Snitch, witch, kiss. My name's Blue, fucking cool. Blue cruise, no rules, straight cruise. Fuck who you? Know me, I'm him, so fuck you. Ain't no top 5, because bitch I'm number 1. And I'm number 1, never number 2, never number 3, or 4, or 5. Cause 5 is better than 2, and 2 is better than 1. I be counting this bread, cause I'm number 1. And I got Gigi on my mind, I got Trinity on my lap, and I got Trisha holding my hand, and I got Emily rubbing my hand. I think that's bar maybe. And the whole left me because I wasn't paying for shit. I ain't know Mr. Pay for shit. I Mr. Get some shit, spend some shit, fuck some shit. I don't got no money in my mind cause what is this? Preacher. Okay, we should react to some Joe reacting to some Joe so we can react to some Joes. But I really think Joe is somebody who really, oh my god, he's the way Joe Bardolero. Yeah, I made it. Yeah, I made it. I'll be fine. The world of stock. Damn, what? I need something. Something. Shut up my phone. Makes me think. Make me think. Makes me ask me, why do I pee? You know what I'm saying, right? What is this? What is? What is? What is? Fuck this, what is? Think. Pretty girl gon' fuck me hard. I be counting on my. I be counting all this money, nigga know. Oh my god. Someday I like it. You like it. You like it. Just what are you talking about? I need to know what creature is. I kind of ruin things. I think I fucking things. I think I'm running from there. I feel I'm making all the things so far. That's that joke. Give me a lie. Give me a lie. Give me a lie, babe. Give me a lie. Give me a lie, babe. Give me a lie, babe. Give me a lie, babe. I said, give me a lie, babe. I said, give me a lie, babe. I'm a fucking freak. I be counting all this money when I'm fucking on it. Bitch, I'm fucking mean. And I know she fucking mean. If I fucking niggas know my body, yeah. I be making money for like fucking fucking twice. Niggas yeah, know I fuck up 3 times. I fuck up twice. Yeah, now I fuck up 4 times. Niggas know my body, I be moving. I be moving in my flow now. First time, niggas know. What? said, give me your love back. Give me your love back. I said, give me your love back. Give me your love back. I said, give me your love back. Give me your love back. Give me your life back. I said, give me your life back. And again, there's a beauty to it, though. There's a beauty to getting cheated on. There's a beauty to everything. Like, the fact that there's some experiences you can't experience is like you can't like. Like, there's some experiences you can't experience. Give me your love back. I should give me your love back. I should give me your love. Give me your love back. I said, give me your love. Check. Do we want to write a song with Sean? PEG joy. Silence the global.
Yo, the opening for Iceman? Oh my gosh.
Oh, my not even. What are you talking about?
The opening?
Who said? What opening?
It got leaked? No, it wasn't. No, it didn't get leaked, but Drake. Listen.
There's no word out with.
No, search up Ice Baby. Where's your Ice Baby?
There's
Ice
no.
Baby frees the
There's no
world.
audio of any leaks out yet of Ice.
There is,
Iceman.
isn't this? Pretty sure this is.
That's just a Drake type beat from YouTube.
No. What? Shut.
Bro,
Switch
there's
up.
no.
Ice Baby frees the world.
Do not leak. Do not leak. Don't leak. Don't leak.
What about myself? In order to